So it's another day. I just got off work again. And the next tank that I want to review, show off a little bit, is the 15 or I think it's either 15 or 16 gallons, I can't remember, BiOrb that I bought on Amazon. I think it may be an Amazon exclusive kind of thing. I don't know, but I got it for a good price. I thought it was unusual, and when you see it, you'll understand it is a very unusual tank. It's very entertaining to watch, simply because of it's a complete sphere, and as light comes to it, it just bends it and warps it in all different ways. And plus, whatever fish you have in it, from a distance, they look huge, even though they're only a few inches long. So without rambling too much, let's take a look. All right, so here we are, the BiOrb, one of the most unusual aquariums that I have ever owned, to say the least. As you can see, or I hope you can see, it really does a number on magnification. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic. One of the warnings that you'll see when you first open the box from this thing, there's a little sticker that has a sticker on it, and it comes with a little card. It says, do not place near natural light, because sunlight coming through this thing could act like a magnifying glass and start a fire somewhere in your home, which is not a good thing. So to be safe, I've got it on my countertop in the center of my house, away from any natural source of light, to keep that from happening. I mean, the oddity of this thing is self-explanatory. I mean, just look. Just look. The main reason that I bought this tank is because it's sitting on my countertop. So if I'm here in my kitchen and I'm cooking, or I'm cleaning, or whatever it is I'm doing, I can look all the way around the tank and see just about, well, every aspect of it. The one, and I don't really know how much of a drawback it is. It depends on from person to person, but I like to aquascape my tanks, and the traditional way of aquascaping, by putting media down at the bottom, planting your plants in the medium, is not possible with this tank because of the built-in filtration. It basically has, you can see the bubbles coming out, it basically has a sponge filter in the bottom that draws water in from underneath everything. So the water comes up, it flows down into the rocky media that's in the bottom, and I'll show that to you in a minute. I have to get you a little closer. And through that, which the rocks actually act as a biological media for beneficial bacteria and things of that nature, and then it flows into the bottom of the filter, the sponge, up through it, and then back out through the top. I've had this for maybe about a month now. I don't know long term how that's going to be, because this thing's, I had to fight to get that log in there. That's not a BiOrb original, that wasn't something that I bought with it. It's something that I had in another aquarium that I had to cut down to fit down in there, because it was just perfect. I couldn't pass up that opportunity. But to get that thing in and out of there is a pain in the neck, even though I did cut it down. So hopefully it's hopefully the filtration will last a long enough time to where it'll be worth it for me to keep it. In this tank right now, I want to say there's 8 neon tetras. I have 10 crystal red shrimp, or red crystal shrimp, whichever way it is, and I think I've got like 2 or 3 ghost shrimp. I've got 4 large moss balls. I've got the little bit of horn wart growing up here in the top, as you can see, and it seems to be doing fairly well. And then I've got a couple little pieces of some Java fern around the bottom. I put that in there because Java fern doesn't like to be planted. It actually just kind of attaches. It's an epiphyte, or a lithophyte, I think is what you call a plant that actually grows on rocks, as a lithophyte. So they'll actually attach themselves to the rocks and hopefully aid in the filtration a little bit. So there's that, and then the other thing that is kind of a downside is the light. The cord that goes to the light, it's just kind of draped around one side of it, so you do have this, well, I won't call it unsightly, but it's not the most pleasing thing to look at, wire that comes down the backside. But from a distance, if you're looking at the front side of it, it doesn't focus on it, so you can't even tell it's there. The only time you can tell it's there is when you get up close to it from behind it. To keep from rambling any further, let me take you down, bring you up a little closer. It's a very hard tank to really, I say hard, to film, simply because of all the refraction and magnification. But see, there's that cable that I was talking about. It's kind of hanging off the backside. But if I get in here a little closer and look down, you can see some of the crystal red shrimp on that piece of driftwood there. That piece of driftwood came from Coldwater Creek here right up the road. It was in a campfire, as you can see. It was burned a little bit. And that piece of wood has been in just about every tank that I have. I keep moving around as I change each tank, but this is the current home that it's found. I've got some ram's horn snails. That was the other thing I didn't mention that was in here. And I think there were a few trumpet snails. The trumpet snails were stowaways on that piece of fake wood in there. Unfortunately, they found their way, but I don't know how they're going to make it, because trumpet snails like to dig, and I don't really foresee them being able to dig very well in those big rocks. But let me bring you down here. Well, and the other good thing is that from a distance you can't even see what's down here. So, but it almost looks like chipped up concrete. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but it's what it kind of looks like. And the other thing I'm seeing is that because it's curved, you get stuff that kind of settles on the glass. I haven't actually gotten in here and cleaned anything, so I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you how to do that. But I haven't had this thing for an incredible long amount of time, but I tell you, it's fit my needs, because I tell you, so even from a distance, say I'm in my kitchen, you can still see it. You know, you can still look right directly into it. The other tank that I had here before this one is an Aqueon Accent. That'll be the next one that I show you. But the problem with that one is it's got a black background on it. So if you were standing here, all you saw was the background, and you couldn't see into the tank. I mean, you could kind of see it from here through the side, but it kind of defeated the purpose. But so all in all, I would say it's a very interesting tank. It's one that really you can't do a whole lot with. I mean, you can put a few things in it, but you're kind of limited simply because of the shape and the filtration. I have it in my head that eventually I'm going to redesign some kind of better. I say better. I shouldn't say better, because that would imply that what's here is not good. What's here fits the needs of the tank if you set it up the way that it is supposed to be set up. It works that way because it's designed to be that way. But if you're somebody like me who likes to do things their own way, it doesn't quite work. So I have it in my head that I'm going to redesign and install my own custom filtration into this, and so that's the plan long term. But for now, I'm just letting it run just to see how well it'll work, because it see how well it maintains itself. And yeah, so that's that. Oh, and let me show you the little light. The light that comes with it is not, well, I mean, it's bright. And I guess it's bright enough for the tank, but not really bright enough for any serious plant growth anyway, which is a good thing for algae. I would imagine that an algae outbreak in this thing would be a pain in the neck. But yeah, so let me go back over here. It's like a crystal ball with things living in it. I mean, it's just it's pretty cool. Now this is like I said, it's the 15 gallon. I actually was looking the other day, and apparently now they have a 30 gallon. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine how big a 30 gallon version of this thing would be. I mean, you think how big this thing is in regards to me. You know, a 30 gallon would be literally twice the size. So I mean, you're looking at a small planet wherever you would put it. I want one. Just because you can't get much more unusual than something like this. And for the money that I spent on it, I think that it was a good buy. I would, again, for somebody who's just starting out, or just somebody who's just doing it as a hobby, it's kind of like I am, I would say give it a go. Just be careful. Don't put it in front of a window. Don't put it in front of like a really powerful light from the side. I have on another tank, which is another video that will be made, a Fluval Eco Light. It's a little square one that will fit over the top of this and not look too bad, and it can be turned down so it won't be too bright. So I kind of want to push it to its limits and see how bright I can get it without burning anything, if you know, if that's going to be a problem at all. So any questions, any concerns, anything I didn't cover, please leave a comment, and I guess have a good day, or night, or evening, or wherever you are.